A solar eclipse occurs when a portion of the Earth is engulfed in a shadow cast by the moon which fully or partially blocks sunlight. This occurs when the sun, moon and Earth are aligned. Such alignment coincides with a new moon, indicating the moon is closest to the ecliptic plane. In a total eclipse, the disk of the sun is fully obscured by the moon. In partial and annular eclipses, only part of the sun is obscured. If the moon were in a perfectly circular orbit, a little closer to the Earth, and in the same orbital plane, there would be total solar eclipses every new moon. However, since the moon's orbit is tilted at more than 5 degrees to the Earth's orbit around the sun, its shadow usually misses Earth. A solar eclipse can occur only when the moon is close enough to the ecliptic plane during a new moon. Special conditions must occur for the two events to coincide because the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic at its orbital nodes twice every draconic month. Eclipses therefore happen only during eclipse seasons, resulting in at least 2 and up to 5 solar eclipses each year, no more than 2 of which can be total eclipses. Total eclipses are rare because the timing of the new moon within the eclipse season needs to be more exact for an alignment between the observer and the centers of the sun and moon. In addition, the elliptical orbit of the moon often takes it far enough away from Earth that its apparent size is not large enough to block the sun entirely. Total solar eclipses are rare at any particular location because totality exists only along a narrow path on the Earth's surface traced by the moon's full shadow or umbra. An eclipse is a natural phenomenon. However, in some ancient and modern cultures, solar eclipses were attributed to supernatural causes or regarded as bad omens. A total solar eclipse can be frightening to people who are unaware of its astronomical explanation, as the sun seems to disappear during the day and the sky darkens in a matter of minutes. Since looking directly at the sun can lead to permanent eye damage or blindness, special eye protection or indirect viewing techniques are used when viewing a solar eclipse. It is safe to view only the total phase of a total solar eclipse with the unaided eye and without protection. This practice must be undertaken carefully, though the extreme fading of the solar brightness by a factor of over 100 times in the last minute before totality makes it obvious when totality has begun, and it is for that extreme variation and the view of the solar corona that leads people to travel to the zone of totality. People referred to as eclipse chasers or umbraphiles will travel even to remote locations to observe or witness predicted central solar eclipses. There are 4 types of solar eclipses. The sun's distance from Earth is about 400 times the moon's distance, and the sun's diameter is about 400 times the moon's diameter. Because these ratios are approximately the same, the sun and the moon as seen from Earth appear to be approximately the same size, about 0.5 degree of arc in angular measure. A separate category of solar eclipses is that of the sun being occluded by a body other than the Earth's moon, as can be observed at points in space away from the Earth's surface. 2 examples are when the crew of Apollo 12 observed the Earth eclipse the sun in 1969 and when the Cassini probe observed Saturn eclipsing the sun in 2006. The moon's orbit around the Earth is slightly elliptical, as is the Earth's orbit around the sun. The apparent sizes of the sun and moon therefore vary. The magnitude of an eclipse is the ratio of the apparent size of the moon to the apparent size of the sun during an eclipse. An eclipse that occurs when the moon is near its closest distance to Earth can be a total eclipse, because the moon will appear to be large enough to completely cover the sun's bright disk or photosphere. A total eclipse has a magnitude greater than or equal to 1.000. Conversely, an eclipse that occurs when the moon is near its farthest distance from Earth can be only an annular eclipse because the moon will appear to be slightly smaller than the sun. The magnitude of an annular eclipse is less than 1. A hybrid eclipse occurs when the magnitude of an eclipse changes during the event from less to greater than 1, so the eclipse appears to be total at locations nearer the midpoint, and annular at other locations nearer the beginning and end, since the sides of the Earth are slightly further away from the moon. These eclipses are extremely narrow in their path width and relatively short in their duration at any point compared with fully total eclipses. The 2023 April 20th hybrid eclipse's totality is over a minute in duration at various points along the path of totality. Like a focal point, the width and duration of totality and annularity are near zero at the points where the changes between the two occur. Because the Earth's orbit around the Sun is also a